Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Nut House, where we share a little glimpse of our life here in Georgia. We enjoy gardening, canning, cooking from scratch, all kinds of things, and we're so glad that you're here to join us. So I know you're probably getting tired of seeing the peaches, but this is the last video for this year for peaches, I promise. So if you've watched a previous video, you know that we went to a local farm and we picked up 100 pounds of peaches, and so now I have to put them up. So I have been making peach melba jam, peach pie filling. We made some sliced peaches in a light syrup. We made a peach cobbler. I also froze some, and this is the last of them. And what I'm going to do here is I'm cutting them in half, and then I'm going to peel them. Now, some people peel them in boiling water, which you put it in boiling water and leave it for like 3 minutes maybe, then pull it out and stick it in some ice water, but I'm not going to do that here. I'm just going to peel them, slice them up, and get them ready for the blender. So here in Georgia, we have been really hot, like 95 degrees plus, and this past week, we got a little bit of a break, and it was the low 80s, and then one day it was like 74 maybe the high. Now that was really nice. I'm ready for this cool weather to come. Cool here in Georgia is probably still really warm for a lot of you northerners, because we're used to really hot summers. And so when it gets this time of year and we finally get a little bit of a cool down, it's such a relief. So we're gonna finish up getting our peppers. I think that's all we have left in the garden is peppers, hot peppers, and then we have some mild peppers, and I've been canning those as well. And the next video is going to be jalapeno pepper jelly. It is so good. So here I have the sliced peaches. I'm going to start by putting them in my blender. Now, you can blend this, you can pulverize it until it's all the way like a smoothie, or you can do it where there has little bit of bits in the jam, and that's what I'm doing today. I'm not really doing it where it's all the way pulverized, but I want most of it to be small pieces. Now I'm going to give you the recipe just for a single batch in case you don't have 100 pounds of peaches to go through. So we're going to start with 4 cups of peaches. So you just measure out 4 cups and then get them in a food processor, or you can do it by hand if you want to. We're going to get those in a bowl so I can measure them and make sure that I have the right amount. So if you're new to canning, don't be afraid. This is a great entry level thing to can jams and jellies, because you don't have to use a pressure canner. You can You can use your water bath canner or a big boiling pot of water. And I have a steam canner, which I love because it doesn't use that much water. And I don't have to wait forever for it to boil. I really love it. But this is a great one. I've been canning for about 15 years now. And I would say pickles was my first canning that I did, and that's another one that's super easy. And I didn't can any this year because I still have so many pickles from last year. So here is some fruit pectin powder. Now I got this off of Amazon because I do a lot of canning, but you can get the Sure-Jell powdered pectin at your local grocery store or even Walmart. And I'm going to do a 1/4 cup of lemon juice. I'm going to put it in my mixer so I can get all these little jibs of peaches out that I can, because I don't want to waste any of them. What a mess. So you're going to use 1 box of Sure-Jell. I'm going to use this bulk fruit pectin, and I'm using 3/4 of a cup, which would equal a box. So we're just going to put that in to the peaches, stir it around, and we're going to get that on the stove. And we're going to wait until it's a rolling boil before we do anything else. So you see on the right is my steam canner, and I have jars that I'm putting in there, and I'm going to let them sit in that steam canner and sterilize. I'm going to put about a tablespoon of butter, and this is just going to reduce the foam that you will get in this process. And we're going to wait. We're going to stir it and wait for it to come to a full rolling boil. And what I mean by that is when I stir it, if it stops boiling, like you see right there, how it's popping all over my stuff, making everything in the kitchen sticky, it's a mess. But anyway, we're going to stir it and stir it and stir it until I can't stir it down. And when I can't stir it down, we're going to move on to the next step after that. Now you'll notice it'll start to boil, and then I will stir it, and then there will be no more bubbles or anything showing that it's boiling. So that means it's not a full rolling boil. So we're going to just keep on going until when I stir it, it makes no difference. It continues to boil. Now, when making jams and jellies, you can use a recipe that has low sugar or no sugar. I haven't done that. But this has lots of sugar. So for one recipe with 4 cups of peaches, you use 5 cups of sugar. And just remember that you're not eating the 5 cups in one sitting. You're just going to have a tablespoon or so. So anyway, 5 cups. And now we're going to bring it back up to a rolling boil. And it's going to kind of turn almost shiny looking. So we're going to keep stirring it. We want a heavy bottom pan when we're doing this too, because this sugar mixture can easily scorch. So we don't want to leave it too long without being there to constantly stir it. That's very important. So we're going to stir it again until it comes to that rolling boil, and then we're going to set our timer, and it's going to be 4 minutes of rolling of it boiling. Excuse me. It's going to be 4 minutes. We're going to set our timer for, and then we'll start jarring up the jam. Now, this is a process right here. It is a sticky mess, but in the winter time, when you want something fresh tasting, this is going to be really good on a cold day to have a butter biscuit with some peach jam in it. That sounds delicious. So we're going to continue stirring, and you see that foam that's coming up? You can take a ladle and ladle that off, but that butter should help get rid of it in the end after this has boiled for about 4 minutes. But we're not at that rolling boil stage yet because I can still stir it down. So I'm just going to continue with this until it gets to that stage where I will set my timer. Okay, now we're at that stage. I stir it and it's still boiling. It's not stopping. So I set my timer for 4 minutes, and I'm just going to continually stir until that beeper goes off. Now, we want to make sure that our jars are hot, our jam is hot, and we have a paper towel or some kind of cloth with some vinegar on it so we can clean those lids, those rims really well, because this is sticky. And I got a bowl to try to get some of that foam off, but I think in the end I just left it alone. I think it went away. But anyway, you can take it off, like I said, at this stage if you want to. Now, I would say you could get your child to help with this, but I really probably wouldn't, because this stuff will pop on you and burn you in a second. It's hot, it's sticky, and it almost feels like lava, to be honest with you. Like, it sprays out on you and it burns. So it's burning on my stove as this is going on. It's literally burning, and I'm gonna have to scratch it off because it's a mess. But to me, it's well worth it because I know exactly what is in this. There's no strange chemicals, preservatives, or anything. I know what is in this. And so you see it's starting to turn kind of shiny, so it's almost ready to put in your jars. So now I have my jars. They're hot. They're coming out of the steam canner, and we're going to go ahead and fill those up. I'm going to fill them up to a 1-inch headspace, and all that means is I'm going to fill it up until it reaches the bottom lip of that jar. And then we'll take a paper towel with some vinegar, and I'm going to make sure that I clean them really well because it is sticky. If it's sticky and it's greasy, you need to pay attention to cleaning really well. But if I were canning like dry beans, I could can the dry beans and then just take a paper towel with water and clean the rim. But here I'm going to make sure I use vinegar, and I'm going to make sure I clean them really well because I don't want them to not seal and then I have to redo this again. We're going to put these in the canner. I'm using a steam canner. You can use a water bath canner. We're going to go ahead and steam can these for 10 minutes. Now, if you're using a water bath canner, it's the same time, 10 minutes. Some people don't even do that. They just put hot everything and let them seal by themselves. But I'm just going to go ahead and put mine in there and do 10 minutes. And then we'll set them out, and we're going to let them sit for 24 hours, and then I will take the rim off and check the seals. And then I will label them, and that's it. It's that simple to make jam or jelly. And of course there's various amounts of sugar for different recipes, but the process is the same. So I want to thank you all for joining me today in here canning. I appreciate you all. I hope that you all come back and watch our other videos, and I want to thank you so much for being here.